So if you've ever been thinking about getting a new job, and I know you've thought about moving back to Australia or that neck of the world, or we were out there, so you've thought about moving there, right?
We're planning on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we're planning on living there for a while.
there's a job out there worth $267,000 a year with 3 months of vacation.
How much?
$267K
Well, I suppose I could start there.
with 3 months of vacay. Okay. Dr. Alan Kenny offering a fellow doctor, well, I suppose you have to be a doctor, $267,000 annual salary, 3 months of vacation, and a share of his New Zealand practice. And with 6,000 patients, his business in rural Tokoroa is booming to the point where Kenny can't take time off, but no one wants a job. He hasn't received one application for this job in 4 months.
It's like Northern Exposure.
Apparently, no one wants to ply their craft in the middle of nowhere where social life is limited
Call Fleischman.
and the Wi-Fi stinks. And he says to New Zealand Herald, perceive jobs as a dead-end venture. In New Zealand? It's beautiful in New Zealand.
Well, yeah, but that's what people say about Rochester, too. I don't want to go be a doctor in Rochester at the Mayo, because I don't want to live here. What do they got? Goonies? Country Kitchen? No thanks. It's the same problem.
So if you're a doctor and you want to live in the middle of nowhere, and you want to make more than $250,000 a year with 3 months of vacation to go wherever you want and do whatever you want.
To spend that
Here's
money.
a job that...
You could probably even get him to throw in room and board.
I've got, my wife's got a cousin that I'd love to get her hell out of the country. Maybe I'll she's a doctor. I'd like to tell her about it.
Well,
maybe she'll leave.
Here's an idea. Why don't you just send your wife to medical school?
No, not my wife. I'm talking about her cousin. She's got a cousin that I just can't stand.
Oh, get her out
And
of the
she's
country.
a doctor.
Well, then your
And
wife
she can't keep a job, so maybe this is the one.
It's the one, right? Yeah, where it's like, well, we can't get rid of her.
Because, if they're in 3 months, she'd come back here and show off her New Zealand accent just to pester us all.
But you could hide out during that period of time. I mean, you could find a speaking tour that you have to go on. Like, oh, when is she coming? Oh, I'm on speaking tour.
It'd be interesting. I wonder how long it's going to take him for. I mean, that's not a bad gig. New Zealand is a beautiful place. $250,000 a year is good money.
Why don't you write him and see if he needs a DJ? Kind of perk things up. At least if he has to work
for
all the time.
$500,000 a year, I'll come play music for you.
Right. To make you feel happier about the fact that you have to work 365 days a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I'm happy. I'll play Pharrell Williams.
All over and over and over.
Over and over and over. Yeah. Followed by Don't Worry, Be Happy, because, that's been long enough. So that isn't out of vogue.
I'm the happy Bill Herman. That's the happy Jason Jones. And this is the Bill and Jason Show. Hello and welcome again.
No happy feet here. No, it's all happy hands.
Right.
Happy hands. So, one of the things that, have you ever noticed in life, or gone through a period of life where you really wanted something, whether it's like you wanted something for your company or you wanted something for yourself or you're in a job you didn't like and you're just like, I just want a better life. I just really want something. But everything always seemed out of reach. And
yes.
You would work hard. You felt like you were doing all the right things, but still was completely unhappy because you couldn't seem to manifest what you want. You always ended up just kind of taking what you could get.
That was a lot of my life early on in my career as a performer or in radio or doing weddings or whatever. As a performer, that was my entire experience of it.
Yes.
Never could have what I wanted. Never going to have what I want. Going to have to do a bunch of horrible crap to be able to do it part-time.
Yep. Stuff that you don't want to do to get what you want.
Yeah, that was my life.
Right.
For a much longer time than I want to admit.
Mm-hmm. Consider that.
Yeah.
Because that was my experience too.
Yeah.
That it was actually the wanting it that was getting in the way of you actually having it.
Now that sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It does. I mean,
on its face, it does. It sounds contrary to how it works. How do you get something
you don't want? Right. It does. It sounds completely contrary.
Right. See, because the thing is, what's built into that.
Excuse me.
Well, thank you for making that point. What's built into that is the belief that you can declare what you want. Like, I want to be a globally famous performer.
Yeah.
And then you say, but I don't really believe I don't really believe that's possible. Right? So it's the but that's unspoken that's in there that actually gets in the way.
So is this about my butt? Why can't we do a podcast without you bringing up my weight? Thanks for nothing.
Well, no, not your weight. Just your butt.
Just the size of my butt.
No, I didn't say anything about the size of your butt.
Just I have a butt at all.
Your butt. There's a butt in the middle is what I'm trying to get at.
Is it torso?
And it's your butt.
My butt.
It's your butt. And it's that butt that's screwing everything up.
All right. That doesn't
finally I speak language that Bill understands. Finally, he gets it.
So what I'm
if you could
saying,
make my butt an analogy.
so what you're saying is I want it, but I'm convinced I'm never going to have it, so I don't.
So it never actually comes. You like derail it. You put a cancel order in the moment you make your order.
But
Like, please send
everybody
me
has that.
this
So how do you get rid of
and
that?
Cancel. See, I told you I wasn't going to get it.
Yeah, that's very
you
true.
know, is how that is. So so I told you, like, my whole practice is about, like, what is an actionable thing you can do to actually reverse that, rather than be like, well, there we go. Well, that's why I'm screwed. You know what I mean? It's like the rest of my life is going to suck, and he just proved. Tell me why.
Yep.
You know, so it's like, so you want to reverse that. You want to undo that. You want that to be different, right?
So you have a tool for that? Do we have like a screwdriver or pliers or a monkey wrench?
Yeah. It's as simple as this. You write down those things that you want, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Not just what you think you can have,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But rather what you really want.
Okay.
Write it down,
Okay.
fold it up, put it away, give up wanting it, and then just start getting busy doing it.
Okay. So okay. That's a very simple sentence, but how do you just give up that I want $1 million? How do you just because I still want $1 million? You know, like, how do I just say one day I don't? That's okay. I don't.
What shifts
I don't really
is
want it.
You're talking about, like, oh, I want $1 million, what I could do with $1 million, how I would spend it, and how
Yeah.
much fun I would have, and all that stuff.
Right.
That is you talking about having $1 million.
Okay.
That does not bring you $1 million. You having a conversation for $1 million has you manifest $1 million.
Okay. Be more specific because I'd like $1 million.
Now, more specific is when you're having a conversation for something, your conversation moves to what actions do I need to take in order to produce $1 million for myself?
As opposed to
in how much time? As opposed to just talking about, wouldn't it be nice if I had $1 million? If it would just fall out of the sky? Wouldn't it be cool if we found a trunk full of money and there weren't bandits associated with it that would hunt us down with guns and knives and swords and cut off our limbs and stick us in a trunk and send us down to Tahiti to be in a claustrophobic space for the rest of our days, but they would feed us with tiny baby spoons?
Wait, where do you hike? You need to stop going there. That's awful.
Sorry. I had a flashback.
My gosh.
It was a bad one.
So all I have to do is stop worrying about wanting it and start taking on the consideration of what I have to do to get it. That
Yeah.
seems simple enough. I mean, isn't that what we all do? I mean, if I want to go get
It's
a bicycle, I do talk about going to get a bicycle, don't I?
It's not what we all do. Let's take. Can I bring up a personal example?
Oh, I guess.
Let's bring
make
up-
me look stupid.
Okay, so you have been talking about a hot tub at your
I
house
have.
for 10 years
I've
now.
wanted a
I think
hot
for
tub.
as long as I've known you.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
your very first birthday
I've
party, I'm like,
wanted a hot
so
tub.
what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, a hot tub. Right?
My wife asks me every year, "What do you want for Christmas?" A hot tub.
Uh-huh.
For your birthday, a hot tub. Can I buy you a gift? A hot tub.
And then she goes, runs a bath.
Yeah. Well.
Tub's hot. Mm-hmm. And so you have a conversation about having a hot tub.
Right.
Now tell me, converse to that, because it's a great example. What would it look like to have a conversation for having a hot tub?
Well, I'd have to go look up how much hot tubs are.
Yeah.
I'd have to look up how much putting a hot tub in would cost.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to find out if a hot tub on my deck in the middle of a Minnesota scorching, freezing. It's freezing and scorching. That's what's so terrible. Minnesota winters.
Yes, that's why we fit in at Melbourne so nicely, because it was just a little bit more extreme on each end.
Right. How that would work, I'd have to find out the logistics, and I'd have to figure out how to make it happen. I'd have to figure out all the stuff about hot tubs
Okay.
to make that.
Like make some choices
to
and
make that
have
happen.
some conversations. And
Yeah.
like, have a conversation with Maureen about, like, so what kind of hot tub, and what does that do when you, like, start having conversations with, like, do you like blue or do you like yellow, or you think we should get little flowers inside, or
It gets
what-
the other
what
person
about these
excited about it
bubbles?
as well.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And then what can likely happen?
Then I would be talking to a hot tub expert about whether or not they could do it and how much it would cost and what kind of hot tub I would have. And
Possibly, or
if
just
the
some
water in it
lackey
would
that's
actually be
selling hot
cold,
tubs.
or a lackey, right?
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Whereas right now I'm just putting it on somebody to make it just show up for me.
And then where would the money come from to actually pay for this hot tub?
Right, and then exactly what I would do and how I would save it and what I'd have to sacrifice if in fact I had to, or if I even had to sacrifice to be able to. I get that.
Okay, so think back to the time. I remember when you and I went to a conference. We got first introduced to the Bose speaker system.
Yes.
Long before you were before you started using the EVs that you got right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you, at that time, it was like 10 years ago. Gosh, it was so long ago.
Yeah, it was
seems
longer.
like
I
a
think it
long,
was
long
even
time
longer
ago.
than that, I think. But okay.
Anyway, no, yes. So this is kind of like in between. Anyway, so you
Yeah.
were impressed with these, and you're like, oh, these have a purpose for me. And they were like, what, $5,000, which is like the way more to outlay on just the PA
That's
than
about the
you'd
cost
been,
of a hot tub.
than you've been accustomed to.
What
That
the
is
hell?
About the hot. Yeah. See, we could get into the root cause of this. Okay. Be
Damn,
prepared for
I'm
the
gonna
big reveal.
blame boats for me not having a hot tub.
Now, when you decided that you wanted a set of those speakers,
I made it happen.
well, how is that conversation you had about the speakers different from the conversation you're having about the hot tub?
That I decided I wanted it, and so I made the choices to make it happen.
Yeah,
as
so you-
opposed to say to somebody, "I want those," and then the conversation's over.
Or would it be nice and it would sound like, I would do this and I would do that and
lament
it'd be
about
great.
not having them.
Yeah, and
but
so
I
you're-
could never have
right.
that.
You're always in the longing of it, right? But you're not actually in the well. Of course, I can get these. I just need to figure out a way,
right.
and then get busy doing it. Now, while you were busy doing it, did you experience things like this taking too long, or like, oh gosh, am I really going to do this? And oh, this is kind of a lot of money,
No,
and like
not at all.
kind of. So really, actually, those things didn't even show up.
Nope.
Because I would expect those
In
to.
fact, the speakers showed up really quickly.
Wow.
Exactly what I wanted.
That's awesome. Wow. So the universe even delivers fast for you
It does.
when you give up what you want.
It does. I need to start writing this down. You're good at this.
So have what you want.
And that coaching is available to you with thecoachinghour.com.
Well, actually, or the I don't know. I can't remember what the our DJ boot camp.
Yeah.
DJ coaching training boot camp.
Yeah, that's
to
going
get
to be
you,
really awesome. Or
totally
the entertainment
effective.
experience. You come to
Or
the
the
entertainment
entertainment
and
the entertainment
and
experience.
the
They're two
entertainment
distinct
experience.
experiences. In
Right.
fact, I would suggest doing the coaching first, which will get you getting everything arranged, getting all your finances ordered, to get the training you need, to get the stuff you need to get together to have the future you want, and then poof, in you go
Right.
for that. That'll be
See how we turned that right around for a commercial for us. Aren't we good with this? We hope you enjoyed the show. And how is the wanting going for you? How many things do you want that you don't have, and how many things did you just chose you're going to have and that you got? I mean, talk to us about your experience of what we were talking about.
So take the Give Up Your Want challenge. Write down what you
good
want
idea.
below, and then declare you're giving up wanting it.
and then
get
let us
busy.
know how quickly it
And
happens.
then let us know how soon you get it.
And be unreasonable. Create that it's going to be something enormous. That would be
Yeah.
amazing to find out your stories. So
Yes.
find us on Facebook and like us. Go to Twitter and tweet it for us. Go to our blog, BillAndJasonShow.com, and subscribe to the podcast. And we will see you next time
Next time.
on the Bill and Jason Show.
Broadcasting from high atop planet Earth at a rate of 96 kilobytes sampled per second over the interweb in an effort to stop glorifying being busy. This has been an entertainment experience production.